All right. Always a pleasure to talk to my next guest, Kira Innocenti. She's like the Swiss Army knife of Young's MMA. Joins me for the first time to help me break down UFC 261. But first, we're going to talk some local MMA. Obviously, Glory Watson. We all know that you're very close with her. You've been behind the scenes helping manage her career for a while now. Dropped her pro debut, obviously not the outcome that we all wanted here, but how's she feeling? Where's her mental state at right now? And when can we expect to see her back in there?
Glory's doing great. Obviously was bummed with the outcome of the event in March, but she was back in the gym a few days later. She ate some bad meals and spent some time with friends and family and just had the heart to hearts with the people that meant a lot to her and was right back into it, and ready to go again. And we'll hopefully have some news to drop after contracts are signed within the next week or so for the next event.
That's great to hear. What's the takeaway from that? I mean, obviously with MMA, especially at the pro level now, anything can happen. Is this just a situation where she got caught, or is there something else maybe that you can point to that led up to this loss here?
Yeah, like you said, I think she just got caught. She had the best camp, the best cut, the best attitude going into that cage that we've seen, on the personal side of things, in the gym, going down there, traveling, was phenomenal. And everyone could see, even the commentators talking, like how skilled she looked for making it it's a pro debut. And as did Ariana, looked amazing for a pro debut. And yeah, she executed her striking really, really well. And you could see up against the cage, she was about to throw a knee, or it was a really close combo. Ariana threw a overhand right, clipped her, and she didn't have a kickstand to be on, and the technical stand-up wasn't getting her up, and just rolled and got caught, and the choke was tight right away. And so there comes the tap, and that's not the outcome that we wanted or worked so hard for, and it's a bit unjust, but it doesn't deter us, and it doesn't really prevent all the big things to come.
And I think you kind of alluded to this earlier, but her mental state right now, like she's positive, she's upbeat, she's ready to get after it, and still believes that all of her goals that she wanted to accomplish are still attainable. She doesn't feel like she's taking a step back where, this is like a really bad thing for her.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a step back at all. I wouldn't even say it's a standstill, because I mean, making the pro debut as a female, especially at 115, there's always opportunities in store for you, because the division is getting deeper and deeper. It's still really shallow compared to men's divisions, of course, but it's getting deeper. There's more opponents on the horizon, promotions that are putting on shows during these tough times. So opportunities we're flying into the inbox within a couple of days. They just want to see how she was when she was ready, and the offers came, and we looked through them and moving forward.
That's great. I actually saw Aaron Lacey at the gym this morning, and obviously he said nothing but great things about Glory. I did want to ask too, like what the situation was like at the venue, the night of the fight, the promotion in general. Just tell me the experience going down to Florida, what that was all like.
Going down to Florida, the whole experience was a bit different than what we're used to. But I think we just all looked at it as business, and we took everything as it came, every obstacle that came. But there really wasn't a lot. The promotion's phenomenal. Triton Fights is excellent. I worked really closely with their matchmaker, Chris, and he was super accommodating. We stayed down there a few days early in Orlando. Her family went down there too. Sold a ton of tickets. I think a lot of people wanted the vacation and the break, but to see Glory's pro debut was a plus, because they followed her career for the past 3 years. It was great. The venue was a really, really nice, like gym setup at like a rehab center, actually, that had a boxing ring that was removed. Great cage. It was a small cage. If you're used to like the New England Fights events, like the Aura cage, that comparison. So it's a smaller cage, but wonderful production. They did great with their marketing. They did great with their lights and their sound, everything like that. It was a really good show. Great promotion. It was a good trip. We went to Universal afterwards on Monday just to have a little bit of fun before we left. So it was a good team bonding experience. And it was I think it was a good trip of lessons learned, and just good memories moving forward.
Yeah, that's great. As far as the night of the fight with fans in the stands and the social distancing and all that, like, what was that like? Were people wearing masks? Did they have to be 6 feet from one another, or was this kind of like back to normal?
it was almost like a throwback to 2019. It was like no masks in the venue. I think we all went in wearing a mask and then realized no one else was wearing it, so we took it off. And most of us were actually vaccinated. That was already there. But people, for the most part, kept their distance from each other and were very respectful, which is nice to see. And I hope going forward with vaccinations or COVID kind of dissipating in the future, I hope people just respect cleanliness and social distancing in any ways. So, yeah, it was a hyped up crowd. It was really nice to see all those fans. And I think the fighters responded to that well. And I know it was nice to see a live event, which I haven't seen in so long. It's nice to sit on your couch with your friends and watch a pay-per-view event, but being down there is just a totally different atmosphere. A lot more nerves, lots of pain from Glory's family, at least.
Yeah, well, again, obviously Glory has a bright future, so I'm glad that everything is going well for the both of you guys now, and she's positive moving forward. I did want to ask you too. You had one amateur fight back in 2015. Does being there, does it give you like that itch to maybe want to come back and step in, a cage again, or is that just behind you?
I wouldn't say it's like a one and done experience. I initially got into the gym because I knew Aaron, and Aaron got me in there. I lost a bunch of weight on my own, was moving towards a healthier lifestyle. And he's like, oh, you should do this. You would have so much fun. And he was right. I went and I immediately got hooked. Jada Killa was there, hit me with liver shots on like my first night. And I was just like, wow, this is fun. And I love these people. And then Ange was training and more women were in the gym. And I think Chris was like, holy crap, I think we got something here. These women are working hard and they are being really receptive to coaching and the team environment. So 2015, stepped in there against Hannah, then Sparrow, and now Meneses, and Andrew's fodder. And she was a wonderful opponent, and I call her a friend today. It didn't get the outcome that I wanted. So it would be nice to like redeem myself, whether against Hannah or really anyone at 145. But someday, I'm not rushing into it. I'm a big girl with big responsibilities and other priorities to focus on, but I would definitely go in there again if the timing is right, opponent was right. And Chris said, yeah, you're ready to get in there again, get your face hit. So, yeah.
Are you training regularly now? Like, is that something that you're doing like with Glory?
I don't train with Glory often because there's a significant size difference between us, and she just has a really coordinated camp. And I work a 6 to 3 job. I work a bunch of other jobs on top of it. So I don't really get in working with her, but I do work out on my own time, just working on my health and fitness and lose that COVID pounds. And so I do that on my own, but I'll pop in. I'll do some boxing with boxing coach Levi Sewell. I'll go and I'll hit pads with Chris, and occasionally do some classes. I don't love wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but sometimes I end up there on those days and get smushed. But yeah, so I train every once in a while.
That's good. 2015, that seems like a lifetime ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. And you mentioned Hannah. I mean, what a wonderful person she is. I've talked to her before. Are you still in touch with her? I mean, that must be like a bonding experience once you step inside the cage with someone, and especially someone that's as nice as Hannah. I mean, it must bring you guys closer together, as your lives evolve and then move forward, right?
Yeah. And coming from our gym and then who we are as people, the hug at the end of the fight isn't fake. That was totally real, where it's like so much respect. Like, she's a hardworking woman and mother, and for her to spend time and train it and step in there's a lot of respect there, and she's just a nice person on top of it all. So yeah, definitely friends. And we've even talked about scrapping again to kind of close her career and get me back into it one more time. And I know she's doing some lifting right now and crushing it. So I guess we're doing our own thing until maybe NEF comes around again. Maybe we'll pop in that cage for Matt Peterson, but we'll see. Down for any experience, really.
Yeah, very cool. Geez, it sure would be nice to have regional MMA back. Hopefully, Matt and Nick, if you guys are watching this, get it back. Let's get some regional fights back for everyone. Exactly, right? Yeah. Okay, so Youngs MMA right now is kind of like in a in-between phase. It's renting a little space in Holden, Maine. Give me a status update on the new place. I believe it's going to be on the way to Bucksport, like in Orrington, right? Like, what's the deal with that one? Could that potentially open?
Yeah, Youngs has had many homes, and we've moved from many homes due to some really tough circumstances, a lot of them being out of our control. So we're in a temporary spot right now where we're holding some like minimal private trainings and some kids classes that are going really, really well. Kids program is huge, and we are expanding into a facility that's in Orrington that will be owned by Chris and a close childhood friend. And there's going to be less overhead there, so there'll be more going into the gym, which will benefit all the general members, fighters, kids, everyone involved. And it will benefit ultimately Chris, who this is his passion, his dream. He's worked so hard for it. So this facility is right over the Brewer line, right into Orrington. Huge space, lots of opportunity for growth. And it's getting worked on. A bunch of team members that worked on it when it was warmer last year, and only a few have been in working on it this winter, but floor should be done soon, so hopefully we'll be hopping in there within the next couple of months.
Very good. I'm so excited for that. I mean, I think the world of Chris, and obviously him as a great coach, but just a better human being. And you got Jimmy Jackson there. You talked about the kids classes. Probably the best, kids teacher around, right? I mean, this guy is just, his demeanor is just so even keel. Yeah, I'm sure it's just going to grow once you guys find like that forever home. I'm sure it's just going to be phenomenal place for everyone, for the Youngs MMA family to come to and do their thing at. I do want to ask you too, just about your goals in MMA. Like you've been behind the scenes, you've been managing Glory. As I said earlier, you're like the Swiss Army knife. You can do a little bit of everything. You can fight, you can help promote, marketing. So it's like, what is it that you ultimately want to do? For your career, like what would be like the dream for you here in the next couple of years and moving forward?
Main goal, I guess I'm just kind of like going through every day and figuring that out. I ultimately just want to be my own boss. So, and MMA is fun to me, and I like the marketing management side of it, the social media portion, the going out there, grinding hard and getting sponsors for these athletes that ultimately they don't get enough pay in what they do professionally. I was actually just talking today with Glory's merchandise company, MMAT company, how they want to get money for the fighters and take care of the fighters. They'd rather have 50 athletes that they're invested in, and rather than thousands of them that don't really care about the purpose or the mission. And he's absolutely right that I care about Glory, I care about Aaron, I care about these fighters, I care about this gym because they ultimately have like a deeper purpose, like sense of purpose in mind and why they're fighting. And so I support them. I want to get the money. I know half the time fighters are paying to fight. So I really like that. I think it's just like a test of what I can do, see how much money I can bring in for them. And also I like supporting local. I like representing the community, especially the businesses that are run by some humble and really honorable people, like C-Dog, for example, like Bert, who's down in Florida. Luckily, Glory's fight was down in Florida, so he's working hard down there, and then he works his tail off up here when he's up here. So any advertising that we can do for them, I love to do, and they support the MMA community back. But it doesn't pay my bills, so I work full time for a beverage distributor. And I do that 6 to 3. I sometimes work another part-time job at a pharmacy. I help out at the gym and the fighters when I can. And I just kind of want to be the jack of all trades. So when I do kind of find the right tunnel to be down, that I have a lot of tools in my pocket and a lot of connections that I've built up.
Absolutely. Very well said. Well, I can tell you this, Kira, anyone that I've talked to about you says nothing but great things. You're clearly one of the most genuine, hardworking people around here in the MMA game. So just keep doing your thing, keep grinding like we all are in our own respective, lanes for MMA, and we'll all get there together. Now, yeah, absolutely, for sure. Now, let's talk about UFC 261. I'm really excited about the card. This Saturday in Vegas, 3 title fights headlined by Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal, and there's 2 women's fights. The rematch between Weili Zhang and Rose Namajunas. I mean, that's going to be such a great fight. It's not a rematch. Is it a rematch?
I don't think it's a rematch. I don't think they've met before. No.
You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Weili and Joanna.
And Joanna, yep.
That fight was insane. One of the best
Oh,
fights
fight of the year, the forehead on Joanna. Like, that damage absorbed was brutal. Looked like Jimmy Neutron. It was awful.
Yeah, and she looked like an alien. It was crazy how bad it was. And then Valentina Shevchenko and Jessica Andrade for the 125-pound belt. Valentina Shevchenko, for my money, might be the best female fighter outside of Amanda Nunes. And I feel like she might be able to beat Amanda Nunes on any given night. That girl is legit. So we're going to dive into that in a second. But first, let's start with the first fight on the main card. Anthony Smith, Jimmy Crute, 205-pound bout. Who are you picking in this one?
So, my pick is Crute. I think he's what, 12-1?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, so he's 12-1. Yeah, I scour the Tapology rankings. I have a problem. It's always up on my phone. I'm just so nosy into every fighter's business. But I think Crute just has it. I think he's gonna soar through the rankings really quick. And I think Smith is phenomenal, and he's got that power, and he's fought some great names. But I think Crute steps in there. I think he's gonna have a really nice knockout with Smith.
Yeah, I'm actually with you. I don't think he's going to knock him out, but I think he's going to beat him. I think Anthony Smith is pretty durable, but I like Crute. And just for anyone watching who wants to see maybe a Jimmy Crute interview here in the near future, I was told I'm probably going to be interviewing him after the fight. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and there could be an interview of Jimmy Crute coming here in the very near future. That's a really exciting fight to kick off this awesome main card. Then you got Chris Weidman and Uriah Hall. Man, I'm torn on this fight. I love both of these guys. Weidman clearly a little bit longer in the tooth. His best days are behind him. This is a big win. This is an important win for him right now. And Uriah Hall seems to be ascending a little bit. How do you see this one shaking out?
This is a tough call too. I really hope all of these fights don't go to a decision because it's gonna be a long night. And it very well could. They could just bang and it will be brutal. But I would like to support the veteran Weidman. I'd like to support Chris. I think he'll get a nice takedown, maybe some ground and pound action. But you never know. That striking from Hall is pretty crisp, and he's pretty long. So we never know what's going to happen. I'm going to go with Weidman, though.
Yeah, I wish I could go with Weidman because I do like him a lot, but I am leaning towards Uriah here. I feel like this fight's going to go one of two ways, and it could go either way. But I think either Weidman is going to grind him out for 3 rounds and win a decision, or he's going to get caught, and Hall's going to win by knockout or TKO. And we've seen Weidman get viciously KO'd fairly recently, so I'm not quite sure that his chin is as good as it was when he was a little bit younger. And unfortunately, I think he might get caught in this fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does grind him out and win a decision. So really, again, such a great card.
So neck and neck with that one. These are such great matchups on the main card that you really can see any of these fights going either way, and you're not going to discredit the fighter either way. You'll be like, yeah, they deserve to win that.
For sure. And those 2 fights, those aren't even the title fights yet. Those are 2 big-time matchups, and we still have 3 title fights to go. So Valentina Shevchenko, Jessica Andrade, I think you know where I'm going with this based on what I said about Valentina earlier. I love her. She's just an amazing fighter, so well-rounded. I'm going with the Bullet. I can't see her losing this fight. Are you with me?
Yep, I'm going with the Bullet. She just has the best fight IQ in the game. Andrade is tough at 115. She fought Chikagan, right? Caitlin Chikagan at 125, and just she's strong. That girl has got some pressure, but the Bullet, she's got it. She's got the range. She's got the IQ. I think she can catch her, whether it goes to a decision, which again, I hope it doesn't because I like getting home before 1 a.m. But I think Valentina pulls this one out, but I think it will be a fun fight to watch.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I got Valentina all day. All right, 115-pound women's championship title holder, Weili Zhang. She's 21-1, taking on Rose Namajunas. One of the things that I really like about Rose is that we have the same birthday. So I always just cheer for her just because of that. I'm like, I don't know many famous people that have the same birthday as me. Mike Tyson's 1 day off, but I really like Rose. I mean, her backstory is so interesting.
Right.
And I think she's a good human being. And I really want her to win this fight. I really do. And I think she can. I'm having a tough time picking her against Weili Zhang. This fighter is so dynamic. She is so good. I'm not sure anybody in the division is going to be beating her anytime soon, unfortunately. I'm going with Zhang. I think the champion retains. How do you see this fight shaking out?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's another really tough call. I love Thug Rose. Like you said, like her Lithuanian roots, her whole story, her background, her battles with anxiety, depression, all that stuff. Like she's very likable, very relatable. I've loved watching her come up, and I really look at title fights of how whoever wins, if they're going to shake up the division or not. And I think Weili wins. I don't think the division is shooken up a lot. She retains her belt. If it goes to a decision, she'll probably retain the belt. Fights Joanna again, and it's like, great, it'll be another like fight of the year. But like she's already beat her, so everyone's gonna be rooting for Weili. But I feel like Thug wins, and we're gonna see some really interesting fights, probably closer to December. See a really good like title defense or into early next year. And Weili has 100% takedown defense, like 100%. But we also know that Thug loves to choke, so I would love to see a takedown from Thug Rose. I'd love to see the title, that strap around her waist again. So I'm gonna go with Rose.
Okay, you know what? I'm not mad at that at all. I love it. I hope Rose does win.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
I'm not betting money on it though.
Yeah.
I just hope so.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. All right, this main event. This is the rematch. Kamaru Usman, Jorge Masvidal. The first time that they fought, Masvidal took the fight on 6 days notice, and he had to cut 20 plus pounds to make 170. And he's saying that really affected his performance in the first fight. I mean, Kamaru Usman, for my money, I think he's the most dominant fighter at 170 I've seen since George St. Pierre. And for anybody that knows me, that's saying a lot. George St. Pierre is my all-time favorite mixed martial arts fighter, and its second place isn't really even close. And Usman's on his way right now to, really making a stamp as, rivaling GSP, as maybe one of the most dominant fighters that division, has ever seen. So I really am having a tough time thinking Masvidal is going to be able to do his thing and beat Usman. But he's such a gamer. I mean, game bred, his nickname, right? So if anybody can do it, this veteran fighter could. I'm not sure. What do you feel like is going to happen come fight night?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Usman. I just think he's so dominant. I really don't see the fight going any different come the sequel of it. So I think Jorge is great, like the knockout from Ben Askren, but that's against Ben Askren. That's not against Usman. So I am excited to see it. Hope it doesn't go 25 minutes, but if it does, I'm sure it'll be a very entertaining fight. I think Usman's retaining that belt, and I think he's holding on to it for a while. He is just dominant, and he is the king right now, and there's not a lot on the roster that I can see stepping in the way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Usman retains as well. The fight that I do want to see next is I want to see that rematch with Colby Covington, because before Covington got dropped and he got his jaw broken there, I thought he was winning the fight. I mean, it was close. It was competitive. The finish was brutal. I mean, he was banged up pretty bad, but I mean, he was making it interesting. So I would like to see that rematch, but I'm with you. Usman retains. It's going to be such a fun card. Where are you guys going to watch it? Are you staying home? You going to B-dubs? Like, what's the plan?
Oh, I haven't been to B-dubs in a long time. We go to a friend's house from the gym, so a little gym family party, and smoke some ribs on the grill. I think Glory's making mac and cheese. There's usually some sort of dessert and beverages. So we'll all hang out and gather together and watch the fights probably till 1:30 a.m. So we go over and hang out with the team.
Very good. Well, it's going to be a fun night. Again, Kira, I really appreciate you taking the time, not just to break down this main card with me, but to kind of give us all an update on the state of Youngs MMA and everything that's going on with you. For anybody out there that wants to follow you on social media, please tell them where to go, where to look. And if there's anyone you want to thank, obviously the floor is yours.
Oh, goodness. I'm really boring on social media. I pretty much just share funny memes. Like Instagram, I think it's like my name, like Kira Alexis. But definitely follow Aaron Relentless Lacey, follow Glory Watson MMA, follow Youngs MMA. There's a lot of news coming soon for this summer that's really exciting. Support your local fighters. That's really all I have to say. Buy their merchandise. The commission is super important to them. These people are paying to fight, and they have dreams that they're working hard for. So I just support your local fighter, support your local small businesses, subscribe to all of Ryan Jarrell's journalism outlets. I know you got a lot that you're acquiring. No, I just say support one another and your dreams, and that's about it.